Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I made this Hermaeus Mora statue from the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Hermaeus Mora is the Daedric Prince of Forbidden Knowledge, and thus it makes sense that his form, as depicted in the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, would be a mass of tentacles and eyes. I'm very much a fan of how the remaster decided to handle the Daedric shrines and their appearances, but a small part of me will miss the potato with crab claws look that the original game had for the shrine. So I wanted to make a small sculpture of it, as the thought of having a small statue of a biblically accurate potato with crab claws was too good to pass up. There's a lot of polymer clay in this project, so most of this model ends up being aluminium foil. The entire base of the statue is just 2 discs of aluminium foil with clay on them, and the actual statue of Hermaeus Mora is also an egg of aluminium foil. Once baked, I drill some holes into the discs and thread wire through them to connect them together, and dot on some superglue for good measure. I then start adding the circular details to the base. Since the original model isn't super detailed, I thought I would keep that aesthetic here. Once the Hermaeus Mora egg is baked, I also attach that to the base, using wire and superglue, and then start adding the tentacles, some larger, some smaller. I then add the 4 crab claws on top, using wire as an armature. The finishing touch was to add balls of clay onto the statue and then press a dot into them. These will, quite fittingly, become the eyes. Time to move on to painting. I start by slathering on a thick layer of watered down modelling paste, and then stippling it to help give it a more stone-like texture. I then cover everything with a watered down white acrylic paint. The goal here was to keep some of the stone texture underneath the paint, but I'm not sure this worked. I think some of the texture got lost under all the coats of paint that I applied. I stipple on some grey for colour variation, and then use a watered down green wash to add some more colour variation. The goal was to imitate a mossy look, despite the fact that this statue is found deep in the mountains. Don't think about it too much. I lost the footage, but I went in with more stippled white once everything had dried, as a sort of quick and dirty dry brushing. For the finishing touches, I assembled a table out of scrap pieces of balsa wood that I textured with a wire brush, and then stained dark brown and then dry brushed lighter brown, and then made some candles out of globs of hot glue. The base was a craft coaster that was slathered in a very thick layer of modelling paste, and then everything was pressed into place while the paste was still wet. And with that, it's finished. Thank you for watching. This was definitely a different sort of project, a much smaller one, but it was one that I definitely enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, have a good one.